still. And actually an hour or two ago, it was nice and sunny, and I was just finishing up some stuff, and I came out too late. But I wanted to stand here by the Capitol. That's the U.S. Capitol behind you. And they're, I guess, working, but it's hard to tell. Look at the headline. I got a number in there, and also a website that's in the headline. So make sure you see that, because that's important. What's going on now, if you see the video I did just a little while ago, the one before this, was about how there's 7 million people, or 8 million, I'm sorry, that are going to be facing foreclosure because they owe back rent. Okay, that's 8 million people, and that's just within weeks or months that's going to happen. You know, and that's 8 million people. And there's $47 billion been appropriated to stop that. So about 6-8 months ago, they passed in Congress $48 billion so people don't get foreclosed. Because they owe back rent, and now 6-8 months later, they only gave out like $10 billion of that $48 billion. Wow! So that's what, 20% or more. That's it. So there's $37 billion sitting there to help people, those 8 million that are facing foreclosure, and it's not going out to them to stop that. You know, I mean, it's a complicated situation why it is, but it is. And the only people I could point to, they're the people who gave the money and didn't give anything else how to spend that money, how to get it out quickly. So it goes down to the states and the counties and everything, and they have, you know, they have to make laws to pass it and figure it out and make sure people aren't cheating and all that. And the Treasury Department keeps telling them, hey, make it easier, but it ain't happening. So now we're within days or weeks of a big foreclosure tsunami that may be happening. And to me, the only people that can do something about it are those people sitting up there. And that's why I have the phone number. I mean, call those people, tell them, you know, something's happening, and they have the power to do it. That's all. On the local level, they have some power too, but it starts up on top here, and that's it. And just complain to them. I need that money. I'm going to be foreclosed. They're cutting off my utilities or whatever. If they don't hear it, they're not going to do anything about it. They count those, even if they don't help you personally. They may or may not, but call them personally to help. Call them all too. Your federal, your state, your local. Call every one of them. There's money that is not being used, and I know from Let's Go Help members there is so much hurt out there that people are living in cars. They can't pay anything. They're not going to have heat for the winter. They you know, pass a little bit of something now and then, and there's just still too much hurt out there. And it has to go. I don't know why we're worried about other things. That's why I think people don't get vaccinated. Wow, they got bigger problems. They're going to be freezing to death. Yeah. And that's a problem they have to solve first. Not have a place to live. And that's going to be even more cause, I would think, for the pandemic stuff. So that's why, I mean, it's talking to them. Some are good, some are bad, of course, like everything else, you know. But if they don't hear from you, they don't know what's going on. They hear from the rich people. That's what this town, everybody in this town is here to lobby those people, to call them, to show up on their doorstep. But the average person out there doesn't do that. And at least you could call, you could email or something, so they know. Because now, I mean, obviously the government has a lot of power, you know, to stop hurt things that are happening. And so you have to use that power somehow. And it doesn't happen easily or whatever, but at least be heard, that you let them know. And if you still have to figure out another way, you know, you do it. But they have the power. There's money sitting there. I mean, that's what really frustrates me. They went to agony of passing $47 billion to solve the rent problem, and it's not being used. And foreclosure prevention is going to be over, and everybody's going to be on the street. I don't know how much that really will happen, but look at their faces. But just the worry I mean, to me, that is what's more devastating than anything else. If you're worried about losing your home, you're worried about, not having heat this summer or the winter. That's what it is. You get heat for free in the summer, at least in a lot of states. But if you're worried about that, that is a mental, that's a sickness almost, and that hurts the body inside, and that's trauma that you'll walk around with for the rest of your life. And that they have the power to stop some of that. And they're not using it. Well, they already thought they did it, but they screwed it up. There's unintended consequences with everything, and they have to be big boys, put on their big pants, and try to solve that situation, not try to solve another one, and that creates other problems. There's too many people hurting with this, and it's a pity that there's all this money sitting. It's already distributed to the local places. There's another, in the title, I have a website up there. It's a Low Income Housing Coalition or something. It's just letters, NLIHC, I think it is, .org. Go to that website and find out your local place for that. And then also the local office for that, that's just one program. See, that's the federal program. And there's also a federal program for mortgages. Now, the mortgage, if you want to know, the best place is your state housing authority. There's a lot of money for mortgages that also has money to pay your property taxes, have money to pay your heating bills, everything. If you're owner, if you're a renter, then it's that you go to that list. Oh, thanks. Somebody yelled at me. I'm not sure it was good or bad. I can't tell sometimes. They were sort of smiling. So that, there's so much money sitting out there to help you with mortgages, help you with rent, help you with utilities. Because they're not organized, it's going to take work on your part to find it. But please do it. And don't just look on the internet and say you didn't find anything. No, get on that phone. Go to 211.org. Go to findhelp.org. Put in mortgage, put in rent, put in utilities, put in financial assistance, and call everyone on that list where you live, because there'll be dozens of people that are in the business to help you solve that problem. So if you read their website and says nothing, then call them. You have to call, because they're your best hope to find who really has it. Because we have hundreds of billions of dollars sitting around to solve these problems, and they're not getting to the people who need it. And so you have to shake that tree. It doesn't fall off by itself. Just shake your tree, shake your booty, whatever. And it's, take the work, get on the phone, say, hey, I need to do this. I'm screwed. I mean, it's just the mental health. Oh boy, you ought to hear see the applications for our grant. We're giving out $25,000 December 4th, so apply by then. And the people, oh God, it just so much hurt out there. That people have all kinds of health, mental, physical problems, accidents, COVID, everything. And it's just being ignored to me for some reason. And it demonstrates the arrogance, or the people ignore it by all that money sitting there that could solve so many problems one-on-one. I mean, my $25,000 I'm giving out is nothing, to the pain that's out there. I mean, there's, $37 billion alone just in rent and utility grant money. And that's just one federal. Now, every state has it. Every state still has more money they're giving, because they got money all last year that they haven't spent, because they have to make laws on how to spend it. And they're finally coming around to that. So you're going to have more laws at the local level spending all that COVID money. And there's no one easy place to find that. So that's why you get on and you call 20 people today and ask them where do you think I could get this kind of help? And say the help you need. Don't say, where do I get a grant? Don't say where you got money. Just say, I need help. I'm going to lose my home. I'm going to lose my, I'm going to freeze in this winter or whatever. I mean, we should live in a country that take care of each other. And it doesn't work all the time, of course, but you have a better chance of making it happen by you forcefully just calling and telling people what's going on. People want to help, but it's easier just to close your eyes, close your ears, and pretend everything's okay. But I know, at least from what I see from my members, is that everything is not okay. And what's really not okay is to have money sitting there for people who really need it, and no one's getting it to them. Now that is just flat out fucking wrong. There's just no way around that equation to me. It'd be different. We didn't have the money. We had, as a democracy, we have to decide, if we're going to spend that money or not, and all that kind of stuff. We already did that. So we got the money there, and we're supposed to spend all the rent to help people, 8 million people who are behind in rent, so they won't be foreclosed. And we did that last March, I think it was, and they only spent 10 of that 47 billion. Wow. And time's up at the end of the year, then they got to give the money back. Now something's wrong here. And everybody points fingers at somebody else. I don't know. No easy answer, but I know if you don't at least state your problem to people, it's hard to help you. And it's hard for them, to realize what's going on. They have to know. If they don't feel it. Everybody works on Capitol Hill is making 100 grand or more a year. They don't know. Living on 30 grand and can't pay the rent. None of their friends are like that. So that's why it's letting them know what is happening. They pass the law and they should implement it. And they'll just blame the other guy. It's not me. Vote for me anyway. I'm a nice person. Well, somebody ain't. It's not happening. People have to know it's not happening. And that's where your power comes in. Because as a voter, that's like money in the bank. Your vote keeps their job. That's why they should try to listen. It's not a perfect system, obviously, but boy, things certainly aren't perfect now anyway. So it's not going to hurt. But if you haven't called a bureaucrat before, call them today. And start with that phone number on Capitol Hill to tell them what you need. I need this. If you overwhelm them, that's fine. You overwhelm. Let them feel it. And I don't know. So we have, look at the phone number in the title. Look at the website for rent money and for utility money. That website, that's a national program. Then you start looking at local programs, and that's 211.org and findhelp.org. You put in, when you search there, you put in your zip code and what you're looking for, if it's mortgage, if it's rent, if it's utilities, if it's financial assistance, whatever. And then you get that list from one or both of those websites, and then call every one of them. Call every one of those people and tell them what you need. That's the only way possible to make something happen, is by doing the numbers. And you play by the numbers. And you make that stuff happen with your own effort. No effort, no glory, So put in the effort. Okay, well, thank you for putting up with me. I hope something helps and things get better. Lots of things to do. and just start getting input and out there. Just don't listen, search the internet and listen to media. No, get real facts from people on the ground. And that's by calling those people on those numbers is a way to get the facts on what's really there, how to get it, whatever. And then be relentless. Be relentless.